All right. Let's see. Make sure it goes live over here. As always, just got to make sure it goes through. And it looks like it is. What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a good week. I could be having a better week if I wasn't super sick, but I am still kind of sick, I guess. So a couple channel updates before we get started. And Pagey's here, as usual, as you guys see right here in the corner. Hello, everybody. So I've been sick for like 24 hours. I was telling you, I spoke to Pagey, then I went to make my Arrow video, and then I immediately got sick afterwards and had like a stomach virus for 24 hours, hence why I'm drinking Gatorade right now. So I lost a lot of videos because of that.
Hold on. Do you have Powerade over there?
Yes, Powerade and Gatorade. We have
okay, you do have Powerade as well. Okay, I was just wondering. Wasn't sure.
Yes, so I'm drinking Gatorade to basically get my fluids back in my system and everything. So yes, that's why some videos were missing. But, you know, it'll be back to normal. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and do my Flash review for tomorrow. And then I'll catch up with the other two before the end of the week. So that'll make it easy for me. So much. Also, Pagey, we were joking about it over in your live chat. They introduced this exciting episode of Godspeed, and now we have to wait 3 weeks for it. So.
Yeah. Well, I think it was actually smart of them not to show him in the trailer. Because then people would have sat on that for 3 or 4 weeks.
Right. And
then they might not have been. I reckon it's better just naming it Godspeed and then saving the big reveal of him in the episode for the episode.
Yeah.
Because every man and his dog has seen the set photos, but that's without VFX. Like, we know he's going to have like the glowing yellow eyes most likely, or something like, or flickering yellow eyes or something like that. So, the VFX weren't done for the trailer. That's why he wasn't in the trailer, for anyone wondering. But I think it's actually probably good that he wasn't in the trailer. But it's a bit clickbaity because it's called Godspeed and there's no sign of Godspeed in the episode. But apart from Nora screaming at one point. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, either way, I mean, I'm not the big. We've talked about Godspeed for how long now? We've been in any live chat we've been talking about it for at least 2 years, maybe
some
more.
Have talked about it more than others. Let's just
say. So we'll see. You're finally going to get your wish, guys. So anybody that's been wishing for Godspeed, you're going to get your wish, and I guess we'll see how everybody feels about it when it happens. Yeah, we'll probably get a new trailer for Godspeed like the week before it comes back. Most likely. They'll probably
do like a trailer where it's either just for a trailer for the Godspeed episode where he's actually in it, or it could be like for episodes 18 and 19, maybe 20 put together, something like that. I don't know.
So also, for anybody that wants my thoughts on The Flash from last week, because my review obviously didn't go out, if you go back to last week's mega video, there's timestamps in the info box. You can go directly to the Flash portion, and we cover just about everything from last week's Flash. I hate doing that because you guys know I like to do the separate videos, but since I didn't get a video out last week, that's probably the best way to do that. All right, with that being said, we're going to be talking about the 3 shows this week, and so, you know, general spoiler warning. If you're watching this live or on playback from this point on, there's going to be spoilers, so be ready for that. There isn't a lot, like, we're probably going to spend a lot of time talking about the Flash, because I think both Supergirl and Arrow we can pretty quickly go over those episodes.
Surmised very quickly.
Not necessarily because they were like the worst ever, but there just wasn't a lot happening. And to some degree, there wasn't a lot happening on The Flash, but there's a lot to talk about because of some of the stuff that happened in that episode. So we're going to start off talking about Supergirl, and the episode was, Oh Brother, I practiced this before we went live. Oh Brother, where art thou? Because I had some people saying that I was saying it wrong in the mega video, so there you go.
You know what? They're probably the same people that comment on my videos every week saying, Pagey, it's Cicada, not Cicada.
So isn't that so wrong that they correct you on that? I think it could be.
It's very racist. It's extremely racist. You know, everyone's calling Australians racist after the past week. Well, mate, you're being extremely racist to Australians right now. Very, very racist. It's 2019, people. Get with the times.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Connor Reed with a $10 super chat. Right into it. Thank you so much. You've got 3 questions. So, all right. They're the 3 based on the topics we're going to cover, and they're in order, so that's awesome. Your first one is, what is your take on Lex Luthor? So we will go ahead and jump into that. We'll jump into that one simply because it's the first question on your list. Thank you so much for the super chat. We'll cover the other questions when we get to those topics. I'll make sure we'll go back to that. If not, just remind me because I know you stay for the whole time. So Lex Luthor, I was very skeptical about Jon Cryer as Lex Luthor, but I was pleasantly surprised with what I saw. I said, let me watch the whole episode, take the whole thing in and see what I think about it. And I feel like it's a pretty good version of Lex. I'm thinking that he did a really good job. The very ending of it, to me, is what tied it together. What did you think?
Yeah, as I said, when he was cast, I wasn't like some of the responses online were like, I think, over the top because everyone just remembers him as Alan from 2.5 Men. That's what everyone just, as soon as you see him, obviously you might not recognize him how he looks now because obviously he's bald and beard and stuff. It's like the opposite of Alan because he didn't have a beard and had hair.
Right.
Anyway, but at first, like, I'll give it a go because I've seen weirder castings where it's worked. So I was like, I'll give it a go. Especially seeing that we know how that Superman's been around for a while, which obviously means that Lex Luthor's been around for a while. So it's not meant to be it's not your prime Lex. This is Lex post-prime.
Right.
Like past his day. So I was like, I'll give it a go. And I think even from just the trailer that they released, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, which had him in it. I was like, okay, sounds pretty good. And I think in the episode he was, I thought I wouldn't say he nailed it, but I think he did very, very, very well and definitely exceeded, I think, most people's expectations with what he did.
Yeah. My thing is that you're right. Like this is the post-prime Lex, which is like we've never seen him in this form, like in live action. We've seen Lex versus Superman at his prime. We've seen the pre-Lex back in Smallville when he was just building up to becoming Lex Luthor. Which is why I loved Michael Rosenbaum so much in that role. Which is probably what tainted me when I heard that Jon Cryer was going to be Lex Luthor. Was I was holding him to that standard because to me Michael Rosenbaum is my favorite Lex. But I knew John wasn't going to do as bad a job as Jesse Eisenberg. That was like the whole time I was thinking like there's no way he's going to be that bad. So if he falls somewhere between, both like the Gene Hackman and Michael Rosenbaum Lex, I think I'll be happy. And he's got his take on Lex to me is also different because he's got a more chilling nature to him. Like you see at the end of the episode, once he realizes that his checkmate has happened and he got the cure or the formula to make him better, his demeanor changes and everything about him changes, and he becomes like this super, like, I'm going to go out, I'm going to hit these buttons, these guns are going to come out, all this stuff is going to start firing. It just was it was almost a playful crazy, and it's kind of like, I'm digging it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun this season, and I don't know if we're going to get him more than this season, but I also heard that we're not going to get Superman, so he's strictly going to be just the villain dealing with Supergirl this season. I think they confirmed that Tyler Hoechlin was not returning for season 4. I think I read that. Yeah. Markel Scott with a $1.99 super chat says, as long as he's better than BVS Lex, I'm fine. Well, that's it. Like, I think the worst Lex ever is Jesse Eisenberg. And it's not because I don't like Jesse Eisenberg. I think Jesse is great in certain things. He just is not a very good Lex. So anyway, so Lex tricks Lena and plays her. And I think we all kind of knew, like, watching it, that was what was going to happen. That things were going to flip around. I think the biggest surprise for me was Otis Graves being there, because that was kind of a shock. When I saw that, I thought, oh, wow, this is pretty interesting. I was hoping Mercy was going to walk around the corner or something. Because I liked Mercy better than Otis this season. So I was hoping she was going to come back. But as far as Miss Tessmacher being on his side, I mean, that's a no-brainer. But
the only thing there is that, wasn't she there in season 1 with Cat Grant?
I think she was.
That's the only issue I have, is like, oh, well, there's deep cuts, and then there's just, I don't think that, there's obviously just a bit of a
They've kind of decided that season 1 didn't exist because a lot of things in season 1, like, example, obviously, what's the meme now? Where's Giovanni at? He always says it. Maxwell Lord. Yeah, Maxwell Lord disappeared.
AKA, I'm an actor who's too cocky to move it to Vancouver for 9 months a year.
Yeah, so they said season 2 with Cat Grant. So yeah, she was with Cat Grant early. Yeah, Maxwell Lord. That's hilarious. So I'm going to go ahead and give a thumbs up to Jon Cryer as Lex. I think he did an amazing job in the episode, and I'm actually I actually think that he's made me more interested in Supergirl because I was kind of dipping out, and with him being on it, I feel like it like raised my interest level a little bit.
Yeah, and obviously he's going to be tied into the Red Daughter storyline, which we've been. What's like? Is there an extreme version of waiting?
It's right. Like how long now?
You know how, like,
we're
you know how,
episode
like,
17 coming up. Like that's how long it's
like,
been.
You know how like an extreme version of big is like gigantic? Is that like have we just buried ourselves waiting? I don't know, something like that. But eventually, and I think it's cool that he's tied into it as well.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense because that's going to lead up to that. Now, somebody and I made a misstatement on my mega video, and it's so stupid because I know that it wasn't right. I called it the original Superman trilogy, and I know there's 4 movies, so I don't know why I said that, but maybe it's because everything's a trilogy, I guess. But yeah, so John Cryer was in the 4th Superman movie, Quest for Peace, which is like, I was hoping that the title wasn't just going to be there as an Easter egg, but by bringing in a doppelganger Red Daughter character to fight against Supergirl, that's kind of reminiscent of that movie with Nuclear Man, you know? So I think that's kind of interesting. So I'm on board with all of that. I think all that's good. I wish that this story would have came in a little bit earlier, but maybe they knew they were going to have that dip, so they wanted to have something punchy to sort of bring people back in. Yeah. So, as far as James' sister, Kelly, what did you think of that story about the whole James thing and him being cured and all of that? She's going to be a regular next season.
That's the thing I was about to bring up. Yeah. I don't know what the hell they're going to do next season. Why is she a regular next season?
People say she's going to be a love interest for Alex. That's really the only thing she could do, right?
Oh, well, that just makes me feel like, fair enough if she was recurring or something, but this just reminds me like when Cecile was made a regular on Flash and they're just forcing her into stuff.
Right.
It's not as bad. No, it's I think it's going to be worse. I think it's because Cecile actually is relevant, but I don't think she's relevant enough to be a regular, which she is. Obviously, that's been affected by what happened to Joe, but I don't know what the hell they're going to do with this character. As I said, love interest. That's
now, here's the thing, though. Is she going to replace... Is somebody leaving? That's the thing. Are we losing somebody next season, and she's going to be replacing that person?
Well, maybe she's replacing James. That'd be a meme. But the thing is that he got that cure, so what are they going to do? Or is he going to sacrifice himself with the cure?
It would not surprise me if she comes in with almost no experience and becomes the CEO of Catco. Like, I would not be surprised if that happens. Because if you think about it, the only spots on the show you can fill are either working at the DEO or working at Catco. That's it. That's the only 2 spots. Maybe if John keeps his detective agency, she can work with him. But literally, what would drive her to do that? You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like... But they did kind of drop that little hint that Kara knew her before. Because when she talked about Kelly, it seemed like she knew who she was. Yeah. So, but we know that Kara's never met her. Like, we've never seen that happen. So when would that meetup have been?
I'm guessing we might left to assume it happened maybe when they were dating.
I guess.
Remember that was a thing?
Yeah, for a very short time. So I don't know. I'm just wondering if she's going to be coming in and they're going to like make her a love interest for Alex and try and squeeze her in, or if she's going to be replacing somebody who's leaving. That's really the only thing I can think of with that. So plot twist: James' sister becomes Doomsday. Please no, not that. So James is cured now. Did they confirm? I kind of zoned out at a part towards the end because I was actually getting ready for work. But did they confirm that James has powers, or just that he's healed?
Well, maybe it's going to be powers that it's healing that's going to develop into powers.
That's what I thought too. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I
guess it matters what are they going to be? Is he going to be able to goddamn fly?
Right.
Or something?
Like, what is it? Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
What
no, hold on.
What are we doing here? Come on.
Oh, no.
Are you going to look up James Olsen's different iterations from the comics?
No, I can just tell them what they... Don't tell me they're going to do this. Is this his name? Don't tell me they're going to do this. Are they going to make him... Is it Kal-El? Like the Kal-El? Or is it Val-El?
You mean the Superman? You Superman from Earth 4 or 5 or something like that? Is that 3? Are you talking about the African American Superman?
Yeah, the Black Superman. Are they going to make him? Oh God!
I was thinking if they make him into that character, they could give him that suit and he could be slightly underpowered but still be Superman. You know what I mean? Because Superman's technically gone now.
Oh yeah, it's just Kal-El with no comma.
Right.
So it's like It's like Clark Kent, but without the comma.
Right.
Oh, no. Run.
Yeah. So
Earth 23 he's from.
Yeah.
Earth 23.
I couldn't remember which one it was. We'll see. That's my theory is maybe Izetzi's here. There he goes. He's finally here. So the last thing we're going to talk about is the Manchester John thing, because I saved that for the end because that was the thing that irritated me the most. I was okay with everything else in the episode. The hospital stuff, even though the dialogue dragged a little bit, I thought the character moments were good. And I think that everybody did a pretty good job in terms of acting. Manchester Black. We have to talk about that because that is the most infuriating part for me was his and the people that love the show are probably going to disagree with me on this, but Manchester Black from the beginning had a very clear and defined mission. And anytime his mission changed, it still started from the same place. He was always trying to get revenge or get payback or something like that. And we even saw that in the episode where the Hat and him were disagreeing about what they were going to do with the weapons they found. Because that's why he teleported out, was because Manchester wanted to do one specific thing and Hat wanted to do something else. And so he's always been very motivated and determined. In this episode, all of a sudden, Manchester Black becomes this message delivery person for John, who is telepathically connected to John out of nowhere. So, I mean, when I say out of nowhere, I mean, yes, we know that John has telepathically probed his mind before, but he's done that to other people too, and this has never happened. But for some reason, it happened with them, and they didn't really go into much detail about that. So he's got that. He's got this staff that they never explain how he knew where it was or what it did. Matter of fact, they never explained how they knew where the Fortress of Solitude was, but I guess we can assume that, it's plot reasons or whatever. All of that aside, so Manchester's out there. He's doing all this crazy stuff to teach John a lesson. Still don't get that. And then he is killed off, supposedly, by John using the staff against him. In a very anticlimactic, scene or whatever. Now, the actor who plays Manchester said, I'll be back or something, at the beginning of the episode. I think he meant after he flew away at the beginning of the episode, because he was live tweeting the episode. So he goes, I'll be back. A lot of people thought that meant he'll be back after he's gone, but he tweeted that really early in the episode, not after the episode was over. So I think he may be gone for good. I can't see why they would bring him back other than maybe in flashbacks in John's head, because it seems like maybe now that John has the staff, maybe there's going to be some connection inside of his head with Manchester Black. Steve says the telepathic connection may have been made possible by the Philosopher's Stone. That's possible. It's possible. But what do you think? Do you think he's gone for good? You think we're going to see him anymore? We're not going to see him. You think he's gone, or? Because I know he was cast on another show, and he's a regular character on another series.
And he's filming it now, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so due to that, if he's gone, then it's a very lackluster ending.
For a character they built up all season.
Yeah, and then decided to give him purple hair for 3 episodes.
I think Manhunter's going to get a full upgrade next year, so they don't have to do CGI on him.
He has a new suit.
Yeah,
I know that on set they said that. I don't think no one's got a pic of it yet. I don't think.
But I think they're doing that so they don't have to actually. They don't have to actually do CGI every time they use him. I think it would be better if they could come up with a prosthetic headpiece that looks like the one in the CGI, but I don't know how hard that would be to do. But it has to be easier than doing CGI every week. All right, so overall, I think it was a pretty good episode of Supergirl. There was, like I said, it dragged on for quite a while. I didn't like the twist with Manchester. I thought that was really underwhelming. Loved Lex. The last 10 minutes of the episode really brought up the episode for me. So I would say I thought it was a pretty good episode. What did you think? Did you like it or did you not like it?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So in the comment section now, give us your scores, 1 to 10. What did you guys think of this week's Supergirl? Oh brother, where art thou? On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give it? Can't wait to see this. 8 for Lex. All right, Laura. 7 out of 10. 4 out of 10. A 4 out of 10. Wow. 8, 8. 3. Oh. 7. Holy crap, a 3. 4.78. 9.8.
Another 3. Well, that's the same. That's sorry doing it twice.
Yeah, anything less than a 5, I think, is a troll, probably. Didn't watch it out of 10. Oh, gosh. 0.1 out of 10. All right. Nice. You guys are so positive about Supergirl. Like it. Like that. All right. Let's go ahead and move over to Arrow. We'll talk about Arrow. I'm going to go back to that super chat. Let me scroll down and see what it was. Connor reads $10 super chat. The question wasn't related to this episode, so we're going to do it first. Do you guys think Emiko will double cross Dante? What do you think? I'm going to let you take that one, Pagey. What do you think Emiko is going to double cross Dante? What do you think?
Well, I think she's going to triple cross the show. I think it's going to be, she was with Oliver, then she's double crossed, and she's actually with Dante, and then she's going to cross against Dante and go back to Oliver. So it's a triple cross.
Quadruple cross.
Yeah, and then she'll team with Team Flash or something. I don't know what she'll do next. But in the promo pics for the next episode, she's with Oliver in that suit. Weird. Why wouldn't you keep going around in the Green Arrow suit? To avoid suspicion, but
that's
I don't know.
A really
Anyway.
good point.
I always said that. Like, when I saw the new suit in the trailer, I was like, oh, it must be a flashback, because I don't see how it can make sense that she would go around as that, unless it's a job for Dante, and it's actually like a criminal job. And she has to dress up like that. That's the only thing I can think, unless she gets exposed early on, and then Oliver's like, well, don't wear the Green Arrow suit, and then she wears something else. But the suit looks really cool. I think it actually looks better than her Green Arrow suit.
That's a good point. All right. Okay, so this episode was titled Star City 2040. This is the first episode that I can remember where Oliver literally wasn't in it. I mean, he was, but he wasn't. And the reason anytime you're the lead of a show, you have to appear in the show every episode. It's kind of in the contract. So he was in it for the very beginning. We saw him for a split second, and then he was gone. Then he was just gone after that. So I guess we have to talk about the show being held up by the future characters. I mean, you guys know I'm not a fan of Mia. I think that the acting is weak. I know there's some people that are a huge fan of hers. I'm not feeling anything from her. It's a very, one note thing.
I think she's fine when she's just, as I said, one note. When she's just normal and she's being like, I'm a badass, and she's doing that, then fair enough. But whenever she tries to do any sort of emotion, it's just oh god, where'd they pick her up? It almost feels like someone who was okay. It's almost like an Instagram model who'd never acted went and did an acting audition. That's what, when she's emoting. I think when she's normal, she's fine. I think she fits the role. But as soon as she has to do any emotion or any sort of even that bit when, I think, was it when she walked out of the elevator and she did a smirk. Even the smirk was bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't there. I don't know. I'm hoping
I know we talked about it last week, but what was she on before? What was her big show?
The only thing I know she was on is Shadowhunters. Never seen Shadowhunters, but I think it's one of those shows that has a really big following.
Right.
But I don't know what she's like on that. So I'd have to ask.
Yeah, I've never seen.
I'd have to ask someone who's seen it and be like, okay, well, what's she like on that show? But from what I've seen, it just seems like one of those maybe lower budget network shows that it's more just one of those it's like a fandom show. That's probably the best way to put it.
Now, you said what you were hoping with her is, before we switch over to that. What you're hoping?
Oh, she's a quick learner.
Yeah.
that's about it. And then obviously that's my biggest fear if they do any sort of spin-off with the character. I've seen everyone going, "Oh, Black Star spin-off show," and I'm like, if she can do better, then if she can get better, then I'm fine with that.
See, there's some people who say that they saw this episode and they would love to see these characters continue on on a spin-off, but I got the complete opposite impression. I don't.
Well, that only character I'd be interested in seeing is actually William, because I think he's actually charismatic, but that's about it.
He's a charismatic person in a group of characters that are uncharismatic, which is so weird.
Yeah,
because I think even Connor Hawke is not that great. I mean, he's okay, but
yeah, I honestly think if they did a spin-off show for that, I think it's cancelled after a year. I'd watch it, but I don't know if many people would stick around and watch it, because, as I said, Arrow works because of Stephen Amell. That's the reason it works. And when you try to, you could, even if you kept Roy on the show, I don't even think it would stay around for longer than a season. Right. I think it'd be the first time a DC show's gone on there and it sort of failed.
Well, another thing is that we talked about this before we went live, but with Flash's time travel elements, having a show that takes place exclusively in the future does kind of screw with anything the Flash wants to tell story-wise. Unless they somehow just break off from the main continuity and do something else. You know what I mean? Because everything that happens in present day is fine because the Flash can change it before it becomes cement, I guess. But with something like this, there's no way to change it. It would just be a show about the future, you know? I don't know. I mean, it was okay. It wasn't horrible. I honestly was like, I prefer these as just flash forwards. Like, I don't want to see a whole episode like this again with like nothing but flash forward stuff.
Like, the only thing I can think of is that maybe for this role, I think the actress might have been miscast. Maybe, I don't know if there's meant to be this character's meant to progress at all and then be different. But if she was the lead of the spin-off, then I don't think it's going to be a very strong spin-off. Yeah. If they ever do anything with it.
I mean, I like Roy, and I love the Roy in all iterations, but Roy's a good ensemble character. I can't see him as being a lead character.
That's the thing. I don't think anyone there is actually a lead character.
Which is why the episode felt so weird. Like, nobody was leading it. And so...
Yeah.
But then we did find out about the whole Galaxy 1 Eden Corp things, which is... the Eden Corp thing, we've not discussed too much because you've said that it's very spoilery if we talk about what it is, if you go to the comics and read it and everything. I wouldn't be surprised if that ties in with next year, though. I don't know if or next season. I don't know if we're going to cover all that in this season. Do you think we'll go through all that this season?
I'd be shocked if they got through everything. Yeah. Because we know episode 18 is like a full Laurel, Sarah, Diner episode.
Yeah.
So there's an episode gone, then you only have 19, you have 4 episodes after that. So... I'd be very, very surprised if we saw... Oh, no, so 19's a Diggle episode. So then you have 20, 21, 22.
Right.
So
when's Ragman coming back? When is he going to come back? So
is that a troll?
It is a troll. Yeah, so, I mean, it's hard for me to discuss this episode because it really, to be completely honest, I'm not extremely hype about this future story. The whole Renee thing with this guy he's working with, it's keeping track of what he's doing and just... I don't know. It was okay. I would have preferred for it to be... They could have done all of this in flash forwards within an episode. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't need this to be the whole episode. And we also see...
it felt like...
We see that Felicity's alive in the future, which we all kind of... How long have we been saying that? I think since day one. We're like, oh, she's alive.
Well, ever since there was... They were questioning it themselves.
Yeah.
As soon as, like... At the first time... When they said it the first time, I was like, oh... Well, I'll believe it because the show's saying it. But then, as soon as they started questioning, I was like, oh, well, she's alive then.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't keep going into it if she wasn't dead.
So then she shows up, and we get a really great scene between Felicity and Mia, which is like watching two walls talk to each other because there's no feeling there between the two of them. Katie Cassidy does such a good job of pulling out different things from Emily. But when Emily's in a scene with another person who's not that good, it's like, it's really, really hard to watch it. So Connor Reed with a $5 super chat. Did you guys notice that Roy lost it? Do you think he went to one of those other Lazarus pits and now he has a bloodlust? I don't think he went back. Thank you for the $5 super chat, by the way. I don't think he went back into it. I think it's just probably leftover stuff from the Mirakuru. I mean, that's what I would guess. I think it's just showing that's the case.
I think it's a combination of just the leftover Mirakuru just still affecting his system. And also, it could just be pent-up aggression because Roy's he's been on Leanne Ewan by himself.
Right.
And he hasn't fought yet. So he's just been by himself.
Yeah.
So he's probably just been bottling up all this aggression. We don't know what's happened to Thea. We know Nyssa's alive in the future. Mm-hmm. What happened to... Still have no confirmation on Thea. So maybe Thea died or does something happen where there's just a lot of pent-up aggression.
Quick question. Do we still hate Younger William? Yes, I still hate him. So... It's just, the kid was good when he first started, and then as he got older, you could see that he just didn't seem like he was really into it. So... Or at least he...
It's not, I don't think he wants to be an actor when he grows up. I think that's the best way to put it.
So, which is why they probably wrote him off the show. So we also got Nyssa back. A lot of people pointing that out. Yes, it was cool seeing Nyssa. It was a very short scene. I mean, she wasn't...
Well, if you notice, she was either pregnant or had just finished or just given the baby.
Yeah.
I think she was pregnant at the time she made the episode.
I did like the fact that we covered how she got the training because I'd wondered, like, where did this come from? You know? So we got that. Nyssa is a character who, again, I think is really strong but couldn't carry a show. But there's a lot of really strong actors on the show that in their current characters they couldn't carry a show by themselves. You know.
No.
So this just in, Eric wants a spin-off show about Young. No, I don't. I do not want a spin-off show about Young.
It's just called Living with Grandparents.
Well, right, because on top of that, he's already like he's at that age where he's like he's starting to shoot up in height and stuff. He's going to look much older very soon. So young William's not going to exist anymore. I love Katie Cassidy. I wouldn't argue against that. I would watch a show with Katie Cassidy on it as the lead. I don't know if a Birds of Prey show could work with like the girls together. I think that would be fine. But yeah. All right, so I think that pretty much there's really not much else to say except that we see Felicity at the end activate Archer in the apartment, and it's like Archer is active. So we see that part. I can't really think of anything else to talk about. Most of this is stuff that's going to get tied up over the next season, probably. So there's really
the only thing of note to talk about is the fact that we know that Aiden Cole's involved,
right?
Which is a big reveal if you like know the comics.
Yeah, but I mean the thing is that the problem is with that is that going to affect present day? That's the question. Like,
well, there's no point like avoiding it because it'll be talked about anyway. But like, if they
Eden Core in a nutshell, Oliver Queen getting killed could be connected to Eden Core. That's
well, no, I was going to say they didn't confirm in this episode, but I guess are we under the assumption that Dante's the one that forms Eden Core?
I would think so.
Because Eden Core already exists in present day.
Yeah.
So are we led to assume that Dante's behind that? We're going to find that out in a couple of episodes or something like that, and it might be brought up again in the Flash Forward just to remind us that name. Mm-hmm. That's what it seems like. Seems like at least. I don't know, because the thing is, a lot of people think Oliver's going to die in Crisis. They could, go against that and just, he could still die around the same time, but everyone thinks he's going to die in Crisis. Also, we don't know when Crisis is next season. If Crisis is in like episode 6, would they do 4 more episodes without Oliver? Mm-hmm. 7, 8, 9, 10 of Arrow. So I think that's gonna decide it. Whenever they tell us when the crossover is next season, I think that's going to tell us whether Oliver dies or not. Mm-hmm. That's going to be the big decider. If it's episode 9, then expect a death.
Let's see. Can you please talk a little bit more about Eden Core? I mean, we could, but we don't know. Like, we could pull a lot of stuff from the comics and we probably have to do a whole video on it. You'd have to do like a separate video. It'd be really hard to break it down in a live stream. But I went through. Pagey gave me some recommendations. I went through and read some stuff, and it's a lot to cover, but let's just say that it could easily. I think the Eden Core story could easily cover the 10 episodes of next season. Like,
and personally for me, I think it suits more if Oliver dies on Arrow, and the way that he dies in the comics involved with the Eden Core stuff, I think is a much more emotional death and a more deserving death, if that makes sense. I know why is it deserving, but if he's going to die, I prefer if he died in that manner than just in Crisis.
Yeah.
Personally, I would prefer that. But, I don't know. It's up to whatever they want to do. But we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
All right. So, she's Felicity discount Skynet. I mean, possibly. We talked about this a little bit before, too, is that building that device that supposedly allows them to track down vigilantes in the future would kind of overlap with what happens on The Flash. So I don't think it's going to be successful. That's just putting that out there. Unless they wanted to do a spin-off show where that was the main thing starting out. Pagey will probably cover Eden Core between the breaks on the shows because Arrow does go on break for a little while. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to do one of those.
And what was the other video? Was it top 10 Olicity moments you and me are doing? Another video? I think it's top 10. Is it top 10 Olicity or top 10 West Allen?
What is that?
I don't know. The next video we're doing in our series, we did the best and worst episodes of The Flash.
Yeah.
So I think we're doing top 10. I think it's top 10 West Allen moments. Sorry, I thought it was Olicity. I've got it written down here.
Okay,
West Allen
top
moments.
10 West Allen moments. Awesome.
Yeah.
There's a few questions here. People say that they were saying, "Oh, why don't you answer questions?" I try to. Yes, we've seen Captain Marvel. Matter of fact, we talked about it last week, and it got my video suppressed, so we're not going to do it again. Yeah, we're not going to talk about it today. So, let's see.
Don't say terrorist.
Right. About Laurel going back to Earth 2. I don't think she would. I mean, there would be no reason for her to go back to Earth 2. Unless something happens between now and the end of the series.
Yeah, she's living it up on Earth 1. Everyone just thinks
she would be a fugitive. If she went back to Earth 2, she would be a criminal. So
yeah.
Do you guys think the Washington job that Curtis went to is the Time Bureau Legends? A lot of people have said that. I don't know about that. I feel like Curtis would fit in on that show. I mean, if they wanted to add him in as a character, but we'll see. All right, so let's go ahead and rate this episode of Arrow, guys. 1 to 10. What did you guys think of Star City 2040? Any thoughts you have, drop them in the comment section before we go into our Flash stuff. 6.5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. I think that's fair. 7 out of 10. No, I have not watched Black Lightning. Don't spoil it for me. It's on my DVR. 4 out of 10. Renee's fake hair out of 10. So, Frank, I'm still deciding how I feel about Connor Hawk. I'll probably do a video about that or talk about it in a video.
What's the title of the video going to be?
How I feel about Connor Hawk. Keep it simple. Any news on Crisis on Infinite Earths? No, we probably won't get any news on that till around Comic-Con, I would guess. You should try and ask Charlie to join the stream. It would be badass. We can talk to you guys. I don't know if Charlie
do you
will
one,
do it, but...
Do you one better. Wolster. He'll be on next week.
Oh, gosh. Here we go. The episode seemed amazing. Not happy about the change. What happens to John Diggle Jr.? All right, let's go ahead and jump over to Flash. I know that's what everybody's waiting for. All right, so this week's episode of Flash was called Time Bomb, and it was... I love how the titles are meaning, like, multiple things. Like, that's kind of cool. Because you got the character who has the ability to, like, charge up things. Sort of like Gambit does from the X-Men. And then you got the time bomb of the reveal from the future. Let's go ahead and start off with the question from Connor so I don't forget about it. Because I know he had a Flash-related question. Do you guys think Thawne will get out and help Grace Cicada? Maybe Thawne was playing Nora. Okay, so that's... Yes, definitely Thawne was playing Nora. I mean, there's no... I mean, I would be really surprised at this point if he isn't playing Nora. You know? What do you think?
Yeah. Nora is just a fool. That's just the best way to put it. Like, the way that he reacted at the beginning of the episode when she's like, oh, there's a new Cicada and, oh, it didn't work. And he was just like, oh, okay, sweet, go tell your dad. He honestly didn't freak out, didn't look flustered at all. And he's meant to be like a calm character, but if he's
when he sat down like that, I got the impression when he sat down that he had completed what he was trying to do. Like, didn't you? He sat down. He's like, I'm done. I've done what I need to do.
Well, no. When she got there, he'd been standing up, so maybe he's just a bit tired.
No, I'm thinking though, like after he looked at her and she talked to him, the sitting down I think was a visual signal that maybe his job was done, kind of like.
Oh yeah, I can just relax.
Right, now. That's what I got. That's what I took it as.
Once she tells him, the plan moves along.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm interested to see what they do, because spoiler alert to everyone here, but Cicada's probably going to still be in the finale. Because they're filming the second last episode now, and she's still on set.
There were people in the live chat saying that wasn't going to be the case. They were like, "She's not in."
And I was like,
anymore.
the actress literally just put it on Instagram. Yeah. Like, she's spoiling shit as well. She doesn't give a shit.
I know she doesn't care. She's like, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm not talking about Captain Marvel, guys. I don't feel like chopping this video up like I had to do last week's.
It doesn't really matter because Captain Marvel doesn't come out for another 2 weeks anyway, so it doesn't really. Yeah, there's no point talking about it.
Go see it. Go see the movie if you want to see it. If you don't go see it. Okay, so
I think they're doing.
Go ahead.
They're doing Fandango screenings this weekend.
Yeah.
For Captain Marvel, so
the 12-minute timer. I'm under the impression I've talked about this before. I was gonna make a video about it. I might still make a video about it during the break. I'm under the impression that the 12-minute timer could be them getting the metahuman cure ready because they said it takes an hour with Speedster's powers. Was it 22 minutes? Is that what you put? Was that for the timer?
No, that's not asked the episodes.
Oh, okay.
Episode numbers are 22. Yeah.
I think that they may be like speeding up the metahuman cure to use on him. That's what I think, but I could be wrong. I mean, I'm just thinking that's what it is. Either way, it's not going to be good. Whatever that timer is, it's not going to be good. So I'm still kind of curious to how Thawne has access to a full computer system inside of his cell.
Maybe it's like a modern day TV. You get a TV in your cell sometimes.
They're going to give this time traveling criminal access to time travel technology. That seems pretty strange.
Hey,
to me.
I don't know. Maybe it's weird in the future. Who knows? Who knows?
So he had the timer in his cell. Yeah. Either way, the timer's not whatever it is. It's not going to be good for anybody. I mean, it's going to be a bad thing. Okay, so we have that going on, and we know that he's obviously at this point, Nora has been played, and a lot of people got upset about the way Barry treated her at the end of the episode. But let me put it this way, right? Right now, she's compromised. She's a member of the team that has been compromised and Barry would do that to anybody on the team if they were under the control or manipulation of a bad guy. Because he's not just trying to protect her or protect the team, he's trying to protect her too. Because she's known to do crazy stuff. You put her in that cell, give her a little bit of time to cool off, and then you talk. You know what I mean? Like right now, she's super upset that she got exposed. Sherlock Wells, oh my God. So good in this episode. Like, easily one of my favorite parts of the episode was the Sherlock Wells stuff. He figured everything out, figured out the language, or who wrote the stuff in the journal, the two different writing styles and stuff. Thought that was great. She got totally exposed. I absolutely loved it. What I don't get is, though, it looked like she was going to tell them anyway, and then when he walked in and started, like, saying the stuff that he knew, she was kind of upset. So I wonder if she was going to tell another lie. Do you think she was going to lie again?
I think she was going to tell a lie. I think once Cecile called her out, I think she was just going to tell a lie. And if Cecile was like, oh, no, something else, it's like, no, I'm just emotional or some crap like that. Because that's all Cecile... Because Cecile can't read minds. She can just... it's just empathy. She can just... empath or whatever it's called. Right. So she can just feel emotions and stuff like that. So... Or feelings, if you want to call it. So I think she would have told a lie. And the way that she reacted, where she was just basically started freaking out, she's like, no, don't, she's just saying stuff like that. I think she would have told a lie. So I think Sherlock coming in and basically mentally flossing and dabbing on her was a really cool scene. And I'm interested. I'm so intrigued to see the fallout from it because, like, Team Flash has been, like, infiltrated, is that the best word? Or like just like betrayed by so many people over time that if someone's going to betray you once in that manner and work with the person that killed your goddamn mum, do you trust them after that?
Right.
Like the only thing I can think of is if in the trailer for next episode, which is a month away basically, that's annoying. They're like, okay, we've got to go through her book completely and track her history.
Right.
Maybe they find a reasoning why she did it, like why she felt it was the best way to do it, and if they can feel some sort of, I guess you could say, reasoning, if like one of them would ever do it as well. So if they can do that, then maybe Nora could, team up with them again. But I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It wouldn't surprise me if like Nora's like, public enemy number one, and then she redeems herself somehow, maybe sacrifices herself or something like that. But yeah, because Nora's definitely down in a ditch. Yeah, like if you ever. Yeah.
Mr. 80 said they never trusted Nora from the beginning or to begin with. Yeah, I mean, most people were skeptical of what happened with her.
Yeah, and then episode 8 confirmed that.
Yeah. So we've known that she's been sketchy for a long time. The team, other than Sherlock, I don't think anybody else on the team knew that.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, I see a couple people talking about that mind connection thing, and that kind of threw me for a loop too. So
yeah, I was like, what? I thought my screen had started glitching. I was like, what the hell is this weird eyes?
Basically, Nora, since she went in Grace's head, is now psychically connected to Grace. But wouldn't that mean that Barry and Iris are psychically connected to Nora because they were in Nora's head? I mean, why does it work that way? And I mean, some people are saying, well, if she's connected to Grace, then Grace would be connected to her too.
I think it's because Grace got hit in the head. So it's because of Grace's brain.
So do you think they're connected two ways, or is it just Nora being able to see
I think
Grace?
It's one way, but because Grace's head is like her brain stuff is is what got hit with the dark matter, that's why Nora can... Because it's just so... Because there's a connection there, it just radiates to her. But obviously Nora was never hit in the head with a piece of satellite, so that's why Iris and Barry
Now, do you think that's going to play into the end? Defeating Cicada is going to affect Nora.
Maybe, but I don't know. Like, I think I prefer if that wasn't a thing. I don't think It just seems like it's just like, oh, it's a little novelty that will probably just create a plot hole later on. If anything, it's probably going to be like, oh, Nora can, foresee Cicada's actions, so maybe she's useful. So let's forget what she did. Is that going to happen? I don't know.
I'm just hoping the connection is just that, and not something like where if they give Grace that cure that Nora would lose her powers too, because they're connected now. I mean, I'm thinking like how the CW would do something stupid like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like I prefer if it wasn't a thing, but it's a thing. So it makes sense why it's a thing, but I prefer if it wasn't a thing.
Steve says same reason why they had powers while the dagger was still around them in the episode. Sloppy writing. Let's cover that for a second. Let's talk about the dagger for a moment, because that's a point of contention for a lot of people.
Well, the only time the daggers, the reason that's an issue is just because that one moment in the episode, ironically written by the showrunner, where the dagger automatically took the powers away.
Right.
That's the only reason.
And in that same episode, the dagger didn't take powers away. It was like it did two different things in that episode.
But that's the thing. It just goes back to that one specific moment, that one piece of just sloppy writing by the showrunner himself, which is, I think, the worst part, where it showed that the dagger could take away powers just by itself. Cicada didn't need to... Like, the dagger can sense them, but the dagger can't take them away.
Except we saw when it affected Ralph in the other room.
Yeah, that's the only issue. Yeah. But everything before that and after that is basically like whoever's in control of the dagger takes away the powers. They go, okay, yep, later's powers, you're gone. Right. But just that one moment just creates an issue. Like, if that moment is delayed... If we forget about that moment, it's fine. Right. But because of that stupid moment in that episode,
and it was the showrunner, which means that is something that he, like, consciously put in the script. Like, he wrote it in there, and it's like,
and like no one pointed it out on set. Like, does this make sense?
See, missed the 80s. They had to throw it down at the beginning. The dagger didn't work automatically, but they retconned that in the Todd Helbing episode when the dagger took powers away from Ralph. When Cicada did not know Ralph was
not even that. In earlier, I think in episode 3 or 4, Cicada's versing what's her name, razor things, and she has like the arms that go into big razors.
He throws the dagger, right? That's right.
And it takes away the powers mid-air.
I would have been so much happier if he had to have it in the ground or stuck in something for it to work, but they didn't go with that. You know what I mean?
Like, my only issue is I'm fine with him throwing it because he's in control of it. Like, he's thrown it. Right. And it's going to come back to him, so technically he's in ownership of that dagger.
But it seems like that Grace has way better control over it than he did. I mean, she was able to fight Barry while the dagger was chasing Nora.
Yeah. So that's the thing. She's never had the dagger.
Right. That's so weird. So weird to me. P Diddy 267 says, "How did future Grace killing her uncle not affect the timeline? And did they explain how she can block Cisco's portals?" That's two more things where I'm like. She said in this episode that her uncle trained her to be Cicada. And then
she didn't say in the episode, but the actress said it in an interview that her uncle trained. Like,
that's where I heard it at, man. I knew I heard it somewhere.
It was something about like, how did she become this powerful or something? It's like, her uncle trains her.
Right. So they addressed that. She says that, which means, was that a scene that was cut out of the episode? Like, did she say that somewhere in the episode? Is it alluded to somewhere in the episode and they just hit the cutting room floor? Because if she knew that, then obviously it was in a script somewhere.
Yeah, maybe it was a deleted scene, or maybe,
So she kills him now, and so now she's still Cicada?
Or maybe it's in a future episode.
Well, Chris says she said it in the episode. I thought I heard it somewhere.
I don't know if she said it in the episode. I just know it was in an interview.
Yeah, either way, it does offer up a problem. Like, to me, like another person said it's in the episode. Okay, well,
the interesting thing was like the thanks, Chris, you watched. we didn't. We're just assuming. The thing was like when she says, "I'm going to get your powers back" and stuff like that. Is that the reason she came back?
That's what I'm thinking. That would be the best thing. But even Steve makes a good point. Orlin gets killed, nothing changes. They scratch the time spear. It happens in real time. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's just. This is why I'm so glad we're getting a new showrunner next season, because
Todd Helbing can't handle time travel. It's been proven.
It's like in the same episode. I can almost understand if it's like 10 episodes apart and you might forget something, right? I get that. But it's in the same episode. You're sitting in the room, you're writing it, and you don't realize that there's a big problem with that?
Yeah.
It's in the episode she said they could work together again. Yeah, Frank, that's what I'm thinking. But another thing is, how was she going to give him his powers back? Like, I don't understand how that was going to happen. And if that's the case, why didn't she just do it? If she knew how to do it, what was the hesitation on that? Why didn't she just do that from the beginning? The chasing of people didn't seem like it was that urgent to her because she could just track people down. So another thing is, like, in the scene where they're in the birthday party and the time bomb character is able to charge that ball up to throw at her when the dagger's like 2 feet away from her. And she's sitting there holding Barry and Nora up, and she said she wants to like kill all metas, but then every time she gets the opportunity to do it to Team Flash, she does it. Now we know why, and people have said this to me. Yes, logically, the main characters of the shows are not going to get killed off because she's trying to kill all metas, but she's not even trying. We didn't see her actually try until the very end when Orlin showed up to talk her out of it. And even then, she left when she had Barry sitting right there in front of her. Barry didn't run away. He didn't try to get away. So there's just so much inconsistency right now. And a lot of that has to do with Todd Helbing. Because they've already said, the showrunners, and I think even Canada Graphs, by the way, who just showed up, I think. What's up, Canada Graphs? Said that the showrunners have the most control over the shows, more so than the writers and directors. So,
yeah.
Oh, gosh.
My only explanation around them not killing the metas is if she knows they're in Team Flash, maybe she needed Team Flash to get his powers back. But that's a big leap because she just went and killed him anyway.
Well, not only that, but it's obvious that she doesn't care about chronological problems because she stabbed her uncle. Like,
yeah, so
you know
she
what I mean?
doesn't
So
care.
she doesn't care. So Cicada, is that the official name? Cicada now for her.
Yeah, it seems to be.
So we got a super chat from SL Slick. Yeah, Slick. With a £5 super chat. It says, what are your hopes for the Godspeed episode? Do you think you will be a big villain in season 6? So Canada Graphs probably knows a lot more than we know about this from the whole Godspeed thing. But I don't really know. I don't really know what to expect from Godspeed. I mean, we know we're going to get him as one episode, but is he going to be like a one and done villain, or is he going to carry on? Like, I would think with that suit and the quality they put into that, they would use it more. That it wouldn't just be like, let's make this really cool suit and then never use it again. It takes me back to like the Rival costume, which other than the helmet, I thought the Rival costume was pretty cool, but they only used it like, what, 3 times? 2 times? Like that?
I think you may as well delete your channel, Eric. You just said the Rival suit was good.
No, I said the helmet was ugly. I thought the suit itself was okay. It was like like the Zoom suit with red in it.
I can just imagine someone watching who's like really doesn't like the sound of
God. So it can't be any worse than some of the other stuff we've had. But I have to say that the Godspeed suit does look really good. So from what we saw in the shots. I think there's a lot of people that are hoping he's going to be the big bad for a whole season. I can't see if they try and use the Godspeed story at all from the comics.
Oh, if they do, if they want to use him for a whole season, they're changing him up a lot. Like, they got to change him up a lot because he's just like, his story in the comics is almost like zooms from the show.
Right.
It's not the same, but it's very similar. So if they do it from the comics and they just try to expand it for a whole season, and we're just going to be going, is this literally white-faced Zoom? Like, what's going on here? That's basically what it is. So I probably wouldn't, I think you could do it, but the thing is that, like, I don't know what they're going to do next season with mainly Flash, I guess Flash, Supergirl, and Legends, because Arrow's got that shorter season. What are they going to do with Crisis coming in the middle? Because if Crisis is meant to change everything up, then surely it doesn't mean all 3 of those big bads for those respective seasons would just be sweet and fine and nothing would happen to them if it's meant to change stuff up. So, yeah. I don't know what.
Everybody's asking about Red Death. I don't know if we're going to see Red Death. I mean, there's been no.
Well, they
mentioned it, but there's no information on that. I mean,
yeah, he could be season 7 villain. He could be season 8. I think it's just
they've got several years to do it. I mean,
yeah, like Flash might be, unless Grant Gustin decides he wants to leave next season, but I don't think he will because he's really got nothing on. Like Steven left because he's just missed a lot of his daughter growing up,
right?
And that's why he's leaving. He wants to just focus on family.
And Grant would be really like he's the lead of the show. Very rarely does a lead leave because they get paid really good. So unless he wants to do something else outside of the show, there's really there's nothing. Yeah. There's no reason for him to go. So where are we at? We're talking about the whole Godspeed thing. We got sidetracked there. So all right, let's talk about the time bubble thing, because I was under the impression that you had to have a speedster to open the portal for you to use that bubble. That was never addressed in this episode.
Yeah, that was never addressed. But the thing is that I always say this is that they can't just say, "Oh, it was Godspeed," or it could be Reverse Flash. They can't spoil that because what if Reverse Flash was the one that helped Cicada come back?
Yeah, that's true. Or it could have been Godspeed that helped her come back.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They can't reveal either of those in this episode because it's just spoiler. We know it was if it was opened for her to come back, then it has to be a speedster. And really, the only two options are it was Godspeed because he's in the episode after, or it was Reverse Flash. And if they reveal either of those, it's a bit of a spoiler. More Reverse Flash than Godspeed.
If it's going to get revealed, it'll be in the next episode.
They want to save if it is with Godspeed, they want to save it for the Godspeed episode.
Right. Because here's the truth of the matter: where Nora is talking to Eobard now doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what time he helps Cicada go back, because he can do that at any point.
Yeah, because the thing is, if that's so, what's that? That's 20. That's 30 years in the future.
Right.
So, and Grace doesn't look 40 years old.
No.
So she looks like she's maybe.
And then Steve says, but then Cicada would be working with a meta. Yes, she would, but maybe that was a deal that was made. Hey, I'll help you go back, and you can do whatever you want, and you'll never see me again, kind of thing. Because she wouldn't have any other way to save her uncle. But if they don't address that, that will fall into the plot holes of season 5, which is going to be a lot of them.
And like we already had to move on from apartment 4 because that just got filled.
So here's the thing, though. Another thing about the whole Nora incident. I understand that they're mad at her for lying because of the fact that they're like, hey, I can't believe you lied to us or whatever. But you've allowed her to stay in 2019 for the entire year. I mean, she's been there, 10 months now at least? I mean, so she's been there all this time, and you didn't care at all about the effects it was going to have on the future. You were letting her do whatever she wanted.
If you think back, like their reasoning is like, oh, Nora's from the future, so she knew stuff about Cicada. After the reveal episode, it's like, oh, Cicada's come early. She's offered nothing.
Right.
She said nothing. So there's been like literally no reason, or there's no proper reasoning as to why she should.
They haven't said, hey, we need you to stay to help. There's been none of that.
Or why no one questions. I was like, oh, she's actually not doing much, is she? Like,
and the fact that she was using that journal all this time and nobody cared about that either until now.
Apart from Shiloko, he was the only one that noticed it. Or took note of it.
Yeah, and the whole thing is when she first touched her head like she was getting a headache. That's a good point, Steve. I thought that it was time catching up with her. You know what I mean? I thought it was
because that's like what happened to Barry and Flashpoint.
I thought yes. I was getting really excited because I'm like, this is cool. They're doing a throwback to Flashpoint, but then it was something else, and I'm like, oh god, I guess it's just
glowy demon
more stuff,
eyes,
whatever
that was.
Oh god. And then we talk about the fact that Vicky was a wasted character. What was the point? I mean, just to teach Nora a lesson, I guess. And then she goes into witness protection or government protection, and she doesn't take the Medicure, even though she has no reason to keep her powers. That was weird. I don't know. And the whole Cisco thing is, I'm getting the impression more and more that the rumors of him leaving are definitely true, because his character, the way they're writing him, especially in this episode, he made it seem like being a superhero was a problem. This is the thing for me when it comes to Cisco. He was the biggest fanboy of superheroes. He was the one that loved superheroes when nobody else loved superheroes. He got his powers. He loved being a superhero. He loved doing all the stuff he was doing. Now he hates doing it. Now he wants a family and a girlfriend. And like, where did this come from? Where did this come from his character? This was never... It like literally went from not existing to existing. There was no development into this at all.
Yeah. I'm getting abused because I dabbed in my video. It's not good. It's not good.
I didn't see that.
I regret it.
Watch it now.
I regret it. Yeah, I regret it wholeheartedly. I will. Yeah, I'll have to floss in the next one to make up for it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, anyone that's watching that video.
He's apologizing when you go and watch.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was a spur of the moment thing. I was inspired by a certain other YouTuber. Won't name names.
We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
There's a super chat here. Let's jump over to that because the Cisco thing is making me angry. I don't want to talk about it. Mike Aram with the $2 super chat. Nora didn't notice her journal's been MIA for weeks. Well, I don't think that her journal was gone. I think that when she was there, he was taking it and copying it and then putting it back. I don't think he kept it the whole time because there's been times in between when he first took it and now where she's had the journal. So
and also when she's been like, "Where's my journal? Where's my journal?" and he'll go, "Oh, it's here."
Right.
Like he's like legit. Like it's weird that Nora wouldn't be more protective of it after that.
Yeah.
Like put a padlock on it or something. Just Jesus Christ.
Batman says, Eric, would think it'd be cool if Aquaman 2 or 3 was like Atlanteans versus the Amazonians, Cyborg Shazam, kind of like Justice League, Flashpoint Paradox. They've hinted that a Wonder Woman movie will be like sort of like Flashpoint, but I would love to see Atlanteans versus Amazonians, but that would be more of a Flashpoint thing than like a real world thing. So, yeah. Connor with a $5 super chat. They would need Vicky's consent for the cure. Well, did they even offer it to her? I don't even think they offered it to her, did they?
I don't think they. Well, it might have been deleted scene in Apartment 4 or whatever.
It's so weird. They wouldn't offer it to her. They could be like, oh, hey, by the way, you could be just normal. Here, take this stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Also, as far as Grace's consent now, I would say that it's gone far beyond like that because.
Well, yeah. I saw people complaining about it, but they said in the episode why they couldn't give her the cure. It's because they don't know if it'll kill her or not. They don't know if the meta powers are the thing keeping her brain alive.
Right.
So they'd have to properly look into that before they could even think about giving her the cure.
It's so complicated. So complicated.
But I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm the smartest, but
yeah.
I thought that would be the case because it just seems like the simple solution. I was like, it's probably going to be something around, oh, well, she's been hit in the head, and like one of the things they've been saying all this time is that we don't know if she'll wake up.
Oh.
So maybe the thing is that like, oh, well, they don't know if it's going to kill her or not if they take away the powers. So, but she never said when she woke up though. She just said like, oh, I was that little girl in the bed, and then I woke up and I became this.
Look, Steve says her uncle gave them permission to use it on her twice. Yeah, I know. I mean,
yeah, no, but that's the thing that they went there. I know the consent thing should be dropped. I don't know why they keep saying consent because the main focus should be, oh shit, is she going to die if we give this to her?
Yeah.
Like the consent thing, I wish they'd stop. It just sounds. I hate the word consent as well.
Yeah, where was Caitlin in this episode? Well, Danielle Panabaker is directing the next episode, so. When they were filming this, she was doing a lot of prep work for that. So it wasn't really important for her to be in every scene. So she was only in a couple of scenes at the end, I think, of the episode. Let's see. Zoom fly high is pretty aggressive there. Give her the cure. I don't care if she dies.
God. In this episode of Child Murderer, we look at Zoom.
Calfa Dog says, is Thawne going to be in the rest of the season? I'm assuming yes. I mean...
Most of the episodes, you'd think.
Yeah.
Especially the last ones.
Also there was some question about the outfit and the breathing and everything of Grace's outfit. I don't really care. She's just copying her uncle. So, I mean... She's got to conceal her identity. That's what she was doing in her timeline. Or her future. So, yeah, I get it. Some people were triggered by it. I don't really have a problem with it. It was kind of funny seeing her show up with the suit originally because we didn't know it was an adult version. You know, I think a lot of people thought it was going to be the kid version, but it was the adult version. And so she's had the suit for years, probably using it in her present before she came back. I don't really know though. Like, I'm still kind of curious. A lot of people pointed this out. Why that specific time? Why did she come back to that specific time? Was it because of the dagger? And if it was, she could have came back a little bit sooner. She had a time machine. So why that specific time? Like, she showed up after his powers were taken away, which means she had some idea that it was going on. Getting the time bubble must have been premeditated because I don't think she would have been able to get it like that as soon as the dagger signaled to get in the time bubble. So that suggests that she knew it was going to happen well before it happened. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it was based off that newspaper that that Eobard Thawne had in the future. She was probably basing off that same news thing where she knows the date that apparently Flash and Cicada had their last fight, but she doesn't know exactly the timing and everything like that.
So you're saying that was how she knew that it wasn't connected to the
I'm going to assume that's how she knew, because that's a public record that she can base everything off.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What about Chris Klein's performance? I actually think Chris Klein was good in this episode. It was the best performance he's had all season. And I think it's because he wasn't connected to the dagger.
Are we still going with the theory that Cicada, the acting was bad because Grace was in control?
I'm going to say yes. A meat puppet? Yes, probably. I think he was good this episode. I mean, compared to what we got, I mean, before it was like the whole like raspy, growly voice wasn't working, you know? But the thing is, he was just playing a version of himself as Orlin. You know what I mean? It was kind of like, hey, just act normal. Okay, cool. You know? Yeah. But yeah, the directing and the acting for him as Cicada was definitely, you know, causing a problem. Let's see, any stuff about the Star Labs being cleaned up quickly. One day later, everything's fixed. They are speedsters, though. I mean, they could have just ran around and did all that. Right? I mean, I guess so.
Let's just say that.
So overall, though, I thought it was an enjoyable episode. I didn't dislike it to the point where I was like, I don't want to watch this. And I think the ending of it was pretty solid. Like the last few minutes of it. But so far, it seems like the shows have lived off of the last segments, like the last 5 to 10 minutes of the episode. Like the last couple weeks, we've had mediocre episodes with really good endings, and I don't know what's going on with that or why that's a thing. So I'm hoping it picks up a little bit when the shows come back. So with that being said, we'll do a couple more random questions, but go ahead and rate this episode of The Flash from 1 to 10. What did you guys think of it from 1 to 10? Mobile Zombie, that's a great question. Why didn't Cisco breach the dagger to that dead Earth? He could have done that all season, though. It wasn't just this episode. 7.5, 8, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 8, 7. That's pretty good. I mean, well, 4 out of 10 from Giovanni. Wow. I wouldn't expect any less from Giovanni than a really low score. 8 out of 10, 9. Episode 6 ending 9 out of 10. 7, 8, 7, 7. 0 because I haven't seen it. Well, we just spoiled a bunch of stuff for you. 6, 9. Yeah, the American Pie movies are pretty mediocre, actually. Well, the first one was the only good one, in my opinion. This episode was really feel sorry for Nora. So, that's a good statement there. How many people feel bad about what happened with Nora? I'm just curious. Do you think that Barry putting Nora in timeout after the news he got was overreacting or not? Like, do people collectively think that was a good thing or a bad thing? Because I think I think it was, maybe it seemed overreactionary, but I feel like it was, I think she needed to be put in timeout. You know what I mean?
Well, as I said before, I think it's just that Team Flash has been betrayed that many times by people that you wouldn't think it's your own daughter that would do it to you.
Right.
So I think I think it's an overreaction. I think it's an overreaction that we can completely understand and probably side with.
Black Sparrow, he should have beat her with a belt. I don't know why it's so funny to me. It's just so funny. God, I can't take any other comments seriously after that. I don't feel sorry for it at all. False imprisonment. Well, they've been doing that since season 1, so I'm not really surprised about that.
The basis of Team Flash is false imprisonment.
There's a lot of... Are there still metas down there? They all get moved to Argus.
I think they're all moved on. I think, didn't they go to Iron Heights or something?
Yeah, either Iron Heights or Argus, the metahuman wing of Iron Heights, probably. Is it setting up for Nora redemption? Well, the funny thing is we're spending so much time with Nora because I think they want that big emotional, like, when she inevitably gets changed because of what she's done to the timeline. It'll probably she'll probably go back to the future and not remember anything that's happened.
Well, the thing is that we know she's going to get out of that pipeline at some point because we know there's that scene in episode 18 where Barry catches her talking to Thorne again.
Right.
So she'll probably get out there and be like, they'll probably do all the flashbacks that they need to, and then she'll get out towards the end maybe.
Yeah.
And go there, but...
What characters on the shows would you put in Legends or other shows? We get this question all the time. I think, thank you, Eddie, for the question. We get it a lot. It does. I mean, I don't really have too much of an opinion about that. Legends is kind of its own little thing. You could really throw almost anyone over there. I think Curtis would be okay. Anybody from Arrow that's leaving could be swapped around to another show, but based on what we know of the future now, there's not a lot of people that can move. They've kind of locked them out of that, which is kind of a shame, right? I mean, all those characters now are stuck because they're saying that is the future. So maybe Laurel could go somewhere else. Curtis, maybe. It's about it. I mean, unless there's other characters that are left, like Diggle, maybe that are not there in the future that can move on and do something. It's like most of the main characters are locked into that future. So, am I excited for Legends to return? Let's put it this way: I didn't even remember it was coming back. So that should answer your question. Are you excited about Legends coming back, Pagey? I know it was one of your favorite shows, but
yeah, like I'll watch it. Like I'm excited to watch it, but like it's not like I'd rather the Godspeed episode be next week. I'd rather watch the Godspeed episode and then
Legends
I'd
comes
rather
back.
Flash and Arrow
Legends
not go
comes
on
back
break
in 2 weeks,
than to watch
right?
Legends.
Not next week, but the week after, right?
Not next week. It comes back the week after and replaces Arrow.
Right.
So Arrow's on next week normal, and then the next week just imagine it's Arrow, but it's actually Legends. If that makes sense.
My problem with Legends is that the first half of the season was kind of all over the place for me. I don't think they're going to try and reel it in. I think they're just...
You know why, Eric? It's because you're a hater.
I am. I'm totally a hater.
Yeah. Massive hater.
Totally a hater. So, all right. So, any last-minute questions? We are at an hour and 10 minutes-ish. So, I'm going to wrap it up. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? I guess we don't really have a lot of news to give on what we're doing during the break, but I know that I'll probably be doing a lot of theory videos and stuff. Do you have anything big coming out during the break that you know about now that you're working on?
Sorry, I wasn't listening. My brain just turned off for like 10 seconds.
I said, do you have anything big that you're working on that you're going to be putting out during the break? Anything exciting or?
Probably not. I've got videos lined up. I might do a couple more of those videos styles I did with you with the best and worst.
Yeah, those are fun.
But do another video.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get in contact with a certain Marvel UK YouTuber, but he keeps dodging my messages.
Is Legends going to have a season 5? Yes. Do I watch Cloak and Dagger? Yes. Is the Ninth Circle the rest of Arrow season 7? Unsure at this point. We don't know. When is your Doom Patrol view coming out? Can't wait to hear your opinion. I have skipped
That's an apartment 4.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Doom Patrol... I mean, I'm watching it and stuff. I just don't know when I would fit it into my normal rotation. Because it comes out on Friday, and my main job is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I have to get out my mega video, and I have to watch Supergirl and get that done on Sunday. So I don't really have a lot of time to work out that Doom Patrol video. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to try and do... If I jump into Doom Patrol... How many episodes are left, by the way, of Doom Patrol? Like 5?
I think it was 4 this week, so it's 5 next week.
Yeah.
Well, 5 in... Jesus Christ. 5 in 2 days. These weeks go way too fast.
Yeah, so I might jump into it. I don't know. With the shows on break, I'll have time to catch up. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I will catch up during the break and put out some Doom Patrol videos. Hashtag save Daredevil. We'll see what's going to happen with that. What was the laugh for?
It's a pointless fight, isn't it? It's gone.
Will Dick turn into Green Lantern? Probably not at this point. Unless it happens in Crisis. We might see another version of Diggle from another Earth that's a Green Lantern, but I don't think our Diggle will be. How many characters will be in Crisis from all the universes? That's quick math. So, I don't know.
Many.
All of them, probably. Which show won the week in your opinion? From this week? Oh, that's a
Flash.
tough one, but Flash, yeah, probably Flash. Arrow was kind of a non-factor for me. So
I've always said this: whatever has you thinking the most is what wins.
I mean, look at what we talked about the most. We talked about the Flash for 40 minutes. So
yeah, but I guess you could say the thing about the Fox Marvel merger where people are
yeah. So as of today, as of an hour and a half
hours
ago, Fox is now owned by Disney. So I would expect probably some announcements pretty soon about what they're going to do with that. Whether or not we're going to see some of those properties get fast-tracked or not. I would probably say all the big stuff in relation to comic book stuff will come after Endgame. Most likely. Yeah. We'll find out after Endgame. But I'm excited for the merger. I know a lot of people are kind of meh about it. Some people like the Fox X-Men franchise. I was never big on it. But The Gifted should join the MC TV universe. I actually really like The Gifted, but I don't know what's going to happen with that. Yeah, Kevin Pagey is announcing the Phase 4 films after Endgame. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that.
Do you think they would use mutants on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Probably. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has 2 seasons. It's got this season coming up and season 7, I believe. And that's all they've been greenlit for at this point. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Mutants would work on it. I think The Gifted has proven that mutants work really good on television. Probably better than they do in movies. And that's just my thoughts. But a lot of people would agree that The Gifted is probably one of the best X properties that Fox has ever done, next to maybe Legion. So yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. It just leads a lot more clickbait videos for people to put out, I guess, with all the Marvel
Fantastic Four #, confirmed.
Yeah, Marvel Netflix shows thoughts. Well, that's a pretty broad question.
They're all dead.
They're gone. But let me show you guys what I got. Pagey, you got the room for a second. I'm gonna do a show and tell. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay, well, I'm taking over, so yeah, I don't really know what to talk about, so I'm just gonna pretend like I know what I'm talking about until Eric gets back, because I have no idea what he's about to do. So let's just see what he brings back. Yeah, The Gifted, pretty good. The Gifted is awesome. How many streaming services do you guys watch? 3, I think. Give things over to Cal. Do you want to say something, Cal? He's looking up at me like, no, you idiot. Bring in War Stew, maybe. What's poppin' Warheads? War Stew here. I was trying to remember what he says. Dab, Floss, Orange, Justice. I wish I had my web camera on. Maybe I might be able to get Eric to do this. Where's War Stew? I'm not too sure. Captain Marvel versus Thor. I think Thor would easily win. Overall opinion of Doom Patrol so far. It's fun. I think it's better than Titans. I'm excited to see how it... Well, it's only not even halfway through yet, so... Am I excited for the Flash movie? Yes, and I think Ezra Miller is gone. He won't be lasting past May, so RIP Ezra Miller's Flash. I think we'll get a new Barry Allen, and people that keep tokenizing black characters need to stop. I saw some stupid idiot go make this massive ramble on, oh my god, they should make Barry Allen black in the DCU. I'm like, stop tokenizing characters. Just bring in black characters that are already black. Bring in Vixen. Bring characters like that.
Where did this come from? What did I walk into?
Oh, just this. It was on my mind earlier before I watched the actual TV show. I watched a video where this guy was like, before I was watching The Flash today, I saw a video where it was like some guy just trying to be like, oh, look at me, I'm woke, and let's make. I'm going to bring in Barry Allen and make him black, and I'm like, just bring in black characters. Stop eliminating them and making already established like white characters, whatever they might be. You have to
send me the link to this video because I didn't.
It was the idiots over at Collider. I can't remember the dude that looks like a square, whatever his name is. I don't know what his name is.
Connor Reed with a $2 super chat says, "Paige, are you excited for the Flash movie?" I guess that's just for you. I can't answer.
Answer yes when it gets developed, but stupid conversations by people that have no idea what they're talking about trigger me. So,
all right. So for my birthday, I got a gift certificate for Amazon. And so I was like, what do I want? Well, I'm trying to do a superhero wall in one of the rooms in my house, right? So I ordered 3 things to go on that. And here's the first one. I got a Supergirl PVC from the Gallery Company, which is pretty cool. It's got her on the Fortress.
Is that the show?
Yeah, it's from the show. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I got that one. So that's one. I tried to find the season 4 suit because I like that season 4 suit, even though I don't like season 4. The season 4 suit for Arrow, that is. But I could only find the season 5, season 6, season 7 suit, I guess you could say, with the arms on it. I wanted the sleeveless one, but this is all they had. And it's pretty cool. It's hard to see with the glare on it, but anyway, this is what it looks like on the back. It's pretty cool. And lastly, couldn't get the season 4 suit of this either, so I went with the season 3. And that is a Flash one, which is pretty cool. Here's what it looks like.
We got the Flash.
So yeah, this one's pretty cool. So anyway, I got all that from, I got an Amazon gift card for my family. So I went on a little shopping spree. I figure since you're going to flex with your skateboard, I got to flex with my...
I was going to say, you flexing now, Eric, currently.
Yeah.
At least, yeah, as I said, at least it's not a $1,000 intro. So.
$2,000. I'm looking for a $2,000 is what I'm looking for. So, send me the link to that video when we get done with this. I want to see it.
Yeah, I'll try and find it.
All right, guys. So that's it. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for stopping in. Do I think Thawne is going to die later this season? Thawne has died many times before. He'll be fine. So if he dies, he dies. Thanks, guys, so much for coming in and joining us for the live after party. Next week, there is no Flash. So what is that? Is that the video?
That's the link to the video, okay. Yeah.
Next week, there is no Flash, so we may do the after party on a Monday after Arrow. Maybe. Maybe, possibly. We'll talk about it and see. And then the after party will kind of take a break for a little while till the shows come back. So, Frank, by the way, I have to DM you on Twitter. And we ever see Jesse Quick again? Probably not. So, anyway, I'm out, guys. See you guys later. Have a good night, and I will catch you guys next time. Pagey says bye, too.
Farewell.
See you later.